What's up, guys?
With it.
So is this kind of like a bit surreal to be back in White Plains?
My bar mitzvah was literally right there.
At the, well, not City Limits, but
It used to be
before it.
Lovano's Italian restaurant.
Nothing against City Limits Diner. I'm sure that they have a huge bar mitzvah.
They don't
following.
have, I don't think they have any bar mitzvahs. They have a good breakfast. They have an okay lunch. But yeah. Yeah, this is it. This is like, I'm in White Plains.
Yeah.
I was telling you before, Central Avenue, about Henry's.
Yeah.
I used to skateboard down. I grew up on Battle Hill and used to skateboard down and go to Henry's, to the Yellow Submarine, with skateboard on the banks, Central Avenue by McDonald's. And the key thing was to, stop the skateboard before you hit Central Avenue.
Right. So you'll get hit by a million cars.
Massive traffic just flying by in both directions.
This whole week is kind of like a homecoming for you, because you're. Oh, this is so cheesy, and I didn't mean it. You're capping the week off with the Capitol Theater performance. How lame! That's not
lame.
That's unintentional.
You're right here sitting next to the king of what's that called again?
Puns?
The
Puns.
king of puns.
The king of puns?
KOP.
So, and I know it's kind of like it's the 10 years since Youth came out, which is kind of surreal. Well, talk to me about playing the Capitol Theater, because I know you played gigs, obviously, in Westchester before, like SUNY Purchase and stuff.
Yeah, we played the SUNY Purchase gig, we played the Capitol Theater before, but actually this idea came from like my friend Dan, who I grew up with, he goes by the rap name of Stan Ifkis.
Okay.
And he's like, dude, it's the 10-year youth anniversary, you should do a show in Westchester, Capitol, Portchester. It's a great idea, so he's going to be opening the show, and then I got Bill Laswell, who produced the youth record, to put together a band, which is apparently an 8-piece band as of now.
Wow.
DJ Logic, and so Bill is like he's just an incredible human being. Who can we curse on this thing? Okay, I'm just curious for future reference.
Sure.
Who doesn't give a fuck about anything except making good music, I guess. And so we got him doing like an opening thing. And then, and then we're going to be doing some of the songs off Youth, playing our show and doing our thing. And yeah, it's a 10-year anniversary. It's just like a homecoming show of sorts.
Yeah. And you guys have been together forever.
Yeah, me and Aaron met at the new school.
Okay.
I lived in an apartment building with a few girls. And one of them,
you did.
They wanted a dude.
Sorry.
They wanted a dude. It was actually 2 girls and a gay guy.
Okay.
Olive, who was like a good friend of mine.
It's a great sitcom.
But they wanted like a dude to be there and make them feel safer, I guess. I don't know. So I got the living room, in this like apartment on Lexington Avenue. It was like this beautiful apartment. And she was dating a guitar player, John Lee, and that sort of helped me get into the circle of these amazing musicians who I've continued to stay in touch with and make music with. Me and Aaron became pretty good friends, and then bumped into each other later on when I was just starting my band. And he helped me form the original band, Roots Tonic, and we wrote, all those first songs together on Shake Off the Dust and Live at Stubbs. And I've, been making music now for, I guess, like 15 years.
Yeah, if you include like 1999, 2000, those days.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And the thing that I love about you is like you constantly throw out these live albums, which not a lot of artists do. What is it about Stubbs? Like you always keep coming back to Stubbs, and South by is coming up, so it's a timely question.
I'm like a neat, in some ways I'm sloppy kind of person. In some ways I'm like a neat, organized type of thing. It's like might as well just keep it all organized.
Yeah.
We've done lots of live shows. It's like might as well do. It's the idea being that throughout the years the music has gone through different stages, different phases. So sort of like redocument, like every 4 or 5 years go back to Stubbs and just sort of take a picture and be like, this is kind of what I'm doing right now.
A lot's changed for you, like over the past 10 years, right?
Yeah.
In a whole bunch of different directions. You became a dad, that's one thing, right? And just the music's changed.
The music has changed. I've acquired more of an attitude of not really, trying to please everybody and trying to make everyone happy, and to actually just try to do what I know is right and true for myself. And that's a hard thing as an artist, as a musician, to trust yourself, because you're usually different than the majority, and you've usually got lots of people you know, telling you how you should be, what they want from you. And you're trying to balance having people like you and buy your music and having a career with doing what you know is right. And that's a tricky line to walk when you're actually getting all kinds of pressure and feedback and praise and all kinds of things. You start to get addicted to that kind of stuff, and you want to make everyone happy. You want to have many fans as you can have. I don't care who you are. It's just a thing. Once you get a taste of it, you want more of it. And the main thing is for me at this point is the integrity of myself and the music, and I've kind of been able to create a real close-knit group of people that are in my world that I make music with, and to run it myself basically as my own manager, and basically to create mainly improvisational music, you know, which is, you know, unique night to night, where every show is different, every song is different. We never have the set list, and we go out and try to have unique and emotional and spiritual musical experiences, and push the boundaries of what we're doing, and never force it, and never do anything because we're supposed to do it or because that's the rule, but to actually follow that inner inspiration. You know.
I mean, all of your songs carry so much weight with it, and I think just you as a person, obviously.
Yeah. And also feel free to ask Aaron any questions, because it's rare.
I was talking to Aaron.
Oh, okay. It's rare that he's here and you can get.
Yeah.
You know, he's the music behind what I do, and he's in a big part been sort of the support to go in that direction.
Well, let me ask you this. You know, a couple of years ago, you went through a transformation. The internet's a terrible place for, you know, comments and all that. Has that winded down a little bit? Is the focus back to the music? I mean, was it ever not on the music?
There's always been, because of the nature of how I came out and who I am, there's always been this fascination with, well, what is he and what does he do and how does he combine these things that seem so disparate, you know, so different. And so that's always been a part of it. You know, there've always been core fans along the way that aren't into the music.
Right.
And then there's been this whole, like, I call it the mixed multitude. You know, like when the Jews left Egypt, there's like all these people that just like schlepped along with them. That were like, oh, they're getting out. We're going with them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then they say, of course, the rabbis say, like, whenever the Jews failed, it was because of the mixed multitude. You know, like, so I call it the mixed multitude. Like they're not like the fans of the music. They're people that are, you know, interested in me as the Hasidic guy who does reggae, or, you know, for whatever reason. And basically, we've trimmed the fat. You know, basically anyone that was interested in that or coming to a show for that reason is no longer coming. And anyone who's coming to hear even just the hits, or they're not coming anymore either. You know what I mean? Like, I may or may not play one day. I may or may not play King Without a Clown. I may or may not do an encore. You know what I mean? We will play 2 sets of music, and it will be different every night. And some nights it will be absolutely amazing, and some nights it won't be. You know what I mean? That's the nature of the game. So basically, we just tried to cultivate the following and sort of weed out who's not really there for the right purpose. Because, you know, when you're in a room with someone and you're putting yourself out there, you don't want that guy out there who's like, you know, just some putz who's there for whatever reason.
Right.
You know, you want people there that really appreciate music, even if it means having less people there.